Welcome to Leading Life, the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is Leading Life. It's okay.
Welcome
Welcome
to this episode.
Hey guys, good to see you. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Leading Life. Welcome to Leading Life, the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is Leading Life.
And Monday comes around and it's like, man, let's get things going again.
I'm into the TGIFs, you know what I'm saying? Fridays all the way. The work week is done. You can live your life on Fridays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, guys.
I'm totally joking. Mondays.
Welcome to Leading Life,
but I mean,
the show all
I'm the
about
only
living to
person
the fullest
I know
and
who's
leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for
people
achieving
do what they
total
enjoy on
personal
Mondays.
transformation. So that's why
I'm
most people
Bren.
don't like. And I'm Cam.
This is
It makes sense. I
Leading
understand.
Life.
Anyways, if you guys are in the stream right now, we are live on Facebook. I'm just going to go ahead and click share on my phone here so that I could get some more people in here. But yes, today we got a pretty cool topic. But before we get into that at all, I kind of want to, let's warm up the room a little bit.
Welcome to Leading Life, the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is
I want to know
Leading
I need to
Life.
think about my week. Because I'm so in the moment that I haven't been journaling lately either. I've been so all over the place. I've been working on a lot of video stuff though, for sure. And we just launched visuals, so we're getting our trailers out there, hyping up for the movies, getting it all, creating some buzz for the films.
Welcome
that are
to
coming out
Leading
next,
Life,
which is
the show
really
all about
exciting.
living to the fullest and leading
very
life
exciting.
on your terms.
You will learn
Guys,
tips,
actually-
tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
And I'm Cam.
This is Leading
The book.
Life.
We have two
Yes.
really short ebooks we've been working on, and one of them just came out today, and it's free until Friday. So make sure you guys go check that out. But anyways, let's get started on the show.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, you ready?
You ready?
Cam?
Welcome
Okay,
to
ready, man. This is
Leading
your topic
Life,
this week.
the show all about living to the fullest and leading life on your terms.
You will learn tips, tools, and strategies for achieving total personal transformation.
I'm Bren.
I feel like we all get to that point sometimes where we just get stuck in our habits, our pattern, whatever it is. Maybe it's our job, maybe it's just it could be any monotonous daily chore that you got to do. And there's a funny paradox here, Cam, isn't there? Because there's some things that require daily action and they're fundamentals and you must do them daily and they never change, and if you, they're probably pretty boring, you know what I mean? Like working out, like if you work out every day or you do the same workout or the same thing, or you read the same affirmations, whatever it is, depending on who you are and your personality type, that could get monotonous for you and it could get annoying doing the same things over and over again.
Well, I mean, in general, the law of familiarity states that, like, when something is over and over familiar, you see it every day, or you're with it every day, or whatever, you experience that same thing every day. It starts to get a little bit familiar, like very familiar to you, and you sort of take it for granted. You don't know what you have until you've lost it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and well, what I was mainly talking about was, like, I've been learning a lot about personality types recently. Like, we both took the Myers-Briggs personality test recently. I don't know if you've taken it, but it's pretty cool. Go to 16personalities.com and just do like this 10-minute quiz, and then it gives you like this whole write-up that tells you all about yourself, essentially. Your best strengths and your worst weaknesses, and it tells you about how you do in relationships, how you do in career, all that stuff. And that's a really great tool to have, just to have that kind of self-awareness. And something that I learned about my personality type, which is an ENTJ, and Cam's really close, right? You're an ENTP. So one thing I learned is that we can't not that we can't, but when we get into routine, when we get into, you know, a ritual of doing the same things, we could get really bored really easily and lose creativity. So one thing that I know for myself is I always try to switch it up. So like in general, there's things that I got to do every day, right? Exercise. I got to move my body. I got to make sure my health's on point. I got to make sure I sharpen my mind, right? But every day, what I do is I just do something different, like do a different workout. Like doing the same thing would get boring.
Absolutely. Right? And I don't know how you did it, man. You had that yoga thing going on for like, do you still do that? Or
yeah, I did like the same yoga technique for like 2 months in a row.
Yeah, and I
switch it up every now and then. But see, that's the thing is like I believe that if you could find a really good balance between doing the same thing and being disciplined in a way where you could, you know what I mean? Like you could commit to something and just do it and it's easy, and switching it up and keeping it fun and keeping it interesting, you know what I mean? Because if you're just going to work out the same muscle groups every day, fitness trainers will tell you you're wasting your time anyways, because your muscles at some point they hit a plateau and it's harder for them to get, you know, stronger if you keep on giving them the same activity. So essentially, if you don't challenge yourself or your muscles, that's what you're going to get.
And I guess that's what they mean by like when people say, oh, my work is a workout, man. I work 40 hours a week. That's a workout. And I mean, at first it probably was, but now it's familiar to you and you can do that 80 hours a week and your muscles won't grow because it's the same thing you do every single day.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people who work at like hard labor or whatever, like landscaping or even retail, will say, "Oh, I'm on my feet every day. I don't need to work out."
Yeah.
But you do.
Yeah, because you do the same thing every day, and then those muscles just get it, and they just become they get into place, and then they get stuck in a pattern, right? So today, really, our goal for today is I want you to leave with 3 easy ways to get out of a rut, out of a pattern. So like you're gonna walk away, and anytime you feel that you're in this situation where it's, you know, boring or monotonous or you just feel hopeless or helpless, you're gonna have a quick way to snap out of that and a quick way to redirect yourself to actually get what you do want.
So like, why is this a topic? Did you go through a rut or something?
All the time.
Your mic is slowly fading.
No, I go. Sorry.
So yeah, tell me more about your ruts. Set up your mic though, please.
Tim,
thank you.
Why don't you tell me first? Do you have any experience with this where you kind of catch yourself
with a rut,
feeling like you're in a rut, like you're stuck?
I mean, not to where I'm stuck, but where I think I'm not learning as much as I should be. You know, because I feel like when there's times where I'm sad or like not fulfilled, it's when I'm not learning. It's when I'm not reading books or watching videos or trying to expand my mind. That's when I'm in a rut. So that's just my experience. I don't usually go through ruts. It's basically only when I'm not learning.
Yeah. Well, what I mean by a rut and what I mean by getting stuck is, to me, honestly, it happens all the time. Where it's like I'll go a week where I'm on top of my game, I'm kicking ass, everything feels awesome, and then I'll have a day or two where I'm just like lost. You know, I'm just like stuck, and I'm just like, oh, this is one of those days, just can't handle it. And then the next week or the next month or the next 2 months, I'm on a roll again. You know what I mean? But it's that up and down of life that I think we all, you know, deal with, some more than others, some, you know, it's really crazy changes. But that's what brought this up for me. Was maybe the past month or so, it was weird because like it wasn't as quick. It was like I'd spend a day upset in a rut, and then I'd spend 2 days super productive, and then another day kind of in a rut, and it was this weird pattern. And I just had to figure out with myself, like, what's putting myself in this pattern, you know what I mean? And so I'm giving you three easy ways today. And the first step basically is to assess the situation and to be brutally honest with yourself. And the reason I say be brutally honest is because sometimes we try to protect ourselves by using like softener words, right? Like you hear Tony Robbins talk about this, right? We'll say, you know, it's not that bad, or it's just, you know, it's just a little bit, it's not forever, you know what I mean? We use these sentences or these words to make our problems or what our challenge sound like it's not that bad, and so therefore we don't really give it the time that it deserves. We don't put it to rest. We just let it live. You know what I mean? When really these small concerns or worries you have should be put to bed. They should be done instantly. You should be able to do that, right? So another thing I wrote here was nothing changes until somebody admits it's not good enough.
So, like, I'm sorry, you, like, changed the subject when you were talking about little problems that you use softeners for. Can you explain, like, give me a few examples of what kind of problems?
What kind of problems? Like,
Yeah,
I'm talking about, like, when you're stuck in a rut. Say you're stuck in, we always use this health example because it just works. Because everybody has a health. Well, you know, I got this health problem. How about you say maybe I'm like 30, 40 pounds overweight. I lose my breath when I go up and down the stairs. And I've been basically doing the same things for the past 10 years, and nothing's changed. You know what I mean? I'll go on a diet every now and then for like a week. I'll work out a little bit, and you know what I mean? So let's use that as like a hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
A person who is not serious about change will say things like, well, you know, I'm just a little overweight. It's not that bad. I just got a little bit of extra flab, or, you know, I'm just big bone. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's like they go at the problem with this, it's not a big deal mentality. And those are the people who don't change. The people who do change are the people who go at their goal or their challenge or their problem or their rut or their situation with like
intensity. Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm going to destroy this. Like, it is over. You know what I mean? Because they assess the situation. They're brutally honest about it. Like me, when it came to me losing weight, man, I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, dude, you're an ugly fat ass. You're ugly, man. Like, do something about that. Like, you're so beautiful from the inside, and you could do some. What I meant by you were ugly, Brennan, was you're not being true to yourself. You're so much better than this. You know what I mean? The way you're acting right now, the way you're living is ugly, and it's disgusting. And I'd use words like that, and I'd use words like I'm fat, even though I was only like 60 pounds overweight, and that's nothing compared to a lot of people who go through more intense overweight problems. So that's what I mean by going at it with an intensity, with a brutal honesty. Just be blunt with yourself, and obviously know your personality type, because for my personality type specifically, I love that kind of brutal honesty. I love that kind of like punch in the face, like this is just the way it is, deal with it. And not a lot of people are like that. Some people, they kind of need a more of a, you know, here it is approach rather than like approach, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so everyone's different is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So maybe intensity isn't good for some people?
No, I think if you're trying to make a change, you should always use that intense language. You should always have some sort of, you know what I mean?
Well, I guess every human being tries to stray away from pain, so yeah. At the end of the day, intensity would be a good thing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is just a way to induce pain. Like, step one is induce pain so that you realize that the rut you're in, the situation you're in, is not where you want to be.
Are you at some point going to induce pleasure?
Well, that's step two.
So that we're not... Okay, good.
That's step two, Cameron.
Okay, go on.
So step two is, now that you've assessed the way things are, step two is, what do you want? You know what I mean? How do you want things to be? Because oftentimes when we're in a rut, we just like... It's a matter of just like accepting things the way they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Instead of like trying to design your life, you kind of just like let life take over. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of catch yourself in a pattern, like you're just following life or following other people or following your career path or following whatever it is.
You're not really leading your life.
And that's what this show's all about.
It's a pun.
Yes.
Good pun.
So that's a thing I wrote here, and getting super clear on this. We talk about this a lot because I find it to be one of the most important steps to getting ways to just getting what you want, or like putting together a good skill or something. It's knowing exactly what you want at like a scary level. Like the details are scary almost. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it makes sense because if you were grocery shopping as an example, I think I made this example a long time ago, and you didn't know what you wanted, you're going to take 10 times more time. It's like going through the aisles and looking at stuff. But if you had a clear list that you just tackle, you're in and out in 20 minutes, you're gone. You have your groceries.
Yeah, and this is what happens with us when it comes to like our
everything.
rut. You know what I mean? It's like we forget what we want. We forget what we're doing things for. And so understanding what you want and getting back to the basics, getting back to what's most important to you and what you value most, and what your big goal is, and then finding a way to do that. Because oftentimes as we have a big goal, we have this big dream life, and we've created a way to get there, but we've never changed. We've never stopped to say, wait, is this working? You know what I mean? Is what I'm doing right now, what I've been doing for the past 2 months or past 2 years or past 20 years, is this actually working for me?
Yeah.
Or am I just doing this because it's tradition? Or am I just doing this because someone told me I should be doing this? Or am I just doing it because it's the status quo? Right?
Things change and you have to change. You know, like old people, you got to start using internet. I'm sorry. Internet banking is a thing now. Like get with the program. You know, like old people, stop smoking. We've realized that it kills people. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. You can't be stuck in your ways. You got to be open-minded.
Yeah, that's huge. Another big point I put for number 2 was trade your expectation for appreciation.
What is that?
What does that mean is, I mean, now define what you want, get your outcome there, you know what I mean? But don't sell, like, commit to it, you know what I mean? Go all in on your goal, you know what I mean? But don't depend your life's happiness on your goal. Do you know what I mean by this? I'm not happy until I make $1 million. I'm not happy until I live in this perfect house, until I have this perfect spouse, until I have this perfect thing. Or like life's not the way it's supposed to be until. You know what I mean? It's that mentality that's gonna make you miserable.
I mean, it's a melon. It's a melon. It's a mentality that we've grown up with. It's the melon that we grew up with. The mentality it's the melatonin that we grew up with. It's the mentality that we grew up with, because, you know, you're not happy until you get that ice cream cone from mom and dad, and then you beg and beg and beg until you get it. Then you're happy. Or you're not happy till you get that video game. You're not happy till Christmas. You know what I mean? You just kind of, you're not happy. You're not satisfied until you reach that long term or whatever that goal. But really, what you're saying is that you got to be happy during like the process.
Yeah, because basically it's like you're building a goal, you're building a vision, and that's beautiful. And you're expecting it because you're expecting from yourself to put in the work to go get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to trade in that expectation for appreciation. Because when you appreciate the life you have right now, when you really love the life you're living right now, and you're happy, like that's what's going to get you there. I was listening to a podcast yesterday or something, and the guy said, money won't make you happy, but happy will make you money. Like,
whoa.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like look at the people with the most money. They were already happy. You know, they've always been happy, and it was just like that happiness that helped them propel their success in their personal lives, their professional lives, and that's why we know them as who they are. You know, think of a notorious happy person like Jim Carrey. You know what I mean?
I mean, another thing to think about is that happiness is the goal, because there's a lot of rich, depressed people out there, you know, and that's a big problem. So just remember that happiness is the outcome.
Yeah, I love the quote, "The happiness is the goal of all goals."
Yeah. Yeah. And what you were talking about, trade, expectation for appreciation?
Yes.
It's kind of like when you're not happy until you receive your goal, it's like you're expecting this to happen, right? It's almost like you have 364 days out of the year that you just hate because it's not Christmas yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what it is.
Don't
like
go there.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
And it's the equivalent of what we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. You have 5 days out of the week that you hate and 2 days that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's happiness is the goal. And the process is your life. The process isn't the goal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The goal is like this small little thing that you get until you're, you know, you'll be cool with the goal for a bit. Oh, you got the goal. It's nice and all, but now you need a new goal because it'll get familiar and you'll start to take that goal for granted, and it keeps going.
This is actually something I want to bring up because I've been doing a lot of research into personality types recently, and me and Cam are literally like the same personality except for one letter, and the one letter is the last one, which is the difference between like thinkers and perceivers, you know, like thinking and perception. So for example, I'm a thinker, like a T, which is more like result outcomes. So what I tend to do, what people with my personality type tend to do, is see the bigger picture. They tend to see like the long-term vision and have goals and have visions and have clear, like I've always been like a thinker, like thinking ahead of time, right? Whereas Cam's personality is more like in the moment, more like process oriented. And so knowing your personality type and having like that kind of self-awareness to say, you know what I mean? Am I going to get joy out of the outcome? Like, do I really want this outcome? Am I an outcome oriented person, or am I more a process oriented person where it's like, I'm doing this because the whole time I'm doing it, I'm going to have a blast? Or like for me, like a record, for example, if I want to make a new record and I'm really pumped about this record, honestly, my point of view is I want to see the outcome. I want to see what happens when I release the record, who this is going to impact, what's going to happen during the record. Whereas somebody with Cam's personality type would be more like, oh, I can't wait to get into the studio and sit there and record it and then listen back and then like one step at a time do the process. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting distinction that I've learned recently.
Wait, you don't like the process of recording?
No, not that I don't like the process, but my first, like, and it's not to say I don't have both. It's just my first instinct is to look at the bigger picture. My first instinct is to look at the outcome, not the process.
Yeah, I'm always looking at the process.
That's your first outcome, is look at the process. But the interesting thing is, like, when I did the personality test, it's like I'm so close between T and P. Like, I bet if I took the test 5 times, I'd probably come out ENTJ 3 times and ENTP 2 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just that close. And yeah, take the test, guys. It's really fun.
I might retake the test because I didn't really take it seriously the first time around.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, and you probably didn't the first time you did it too. You probably just did a quick run.
I've taken it twice. I think I've got 2 or 3 times and gotten the same result. So I'm just assuming I am who I am.
I remember there was a Bob Marley quote about you know, if you're relying your happiness on money, well, money is like based on numbers, and numbers never end. So your pursuit of happiness will never end, and you'll always be trying to be happy, but it'll never end.
Wow, so true. So we got you the first 2 steps. So you got 2. Look, guys, when you walk away from this podcast, any moment you're feeling stuck or upset or whatever, you got 2 ways to easily change it. And the first way is just assess the situation, be brutally honest about yourself, what's going on. Don't make it worse than it is. Don't try to make it sound like it's the end of the world, and don't try to soften it by using, you know, words that are going to make it sound not as bad as it really is. 2, define what you want and get super clear on that, and then trade in your expectation for appreciation. Because if you're living your life constantly expecting this big thing to happen, you're going to live a miserable life, because you live in this moment. Like, I've got a big goal to make, you know, $1 million one year, but I could die tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be happy right now, because I'm not going to wait.
It's not Christmas yet.
It's not Christmas yet. All right. And that leads us to step 3. And this is seriously my favorite step. Change everything. Like, just change everything.
Is there only 3 steps?
There's only 3 steps.
Okay.
And this is the 3rd one. I mean, and what I mean by change everything, I mean, look at your life. When you're assessing your situation, step 1, you got a good, like, example. Like, look at your life. What's working right now for you? Like, what in your life, what habit, what goal is just bringing you power? It's just bringing you juice. It's pumping you up. What's doing that for you? And what is honestly making you feel kind of shitty? What is honestly is making you feel down? And how could you do more of what makes you feel good and do less of what makes you not feel good? Or take the things that aren't making you feel good and change them. Like, turn them into situations that do make you feel good. For example, working out. Like, for a lot of people, they just hate that. Like, there's no way they could possibly make that enjoyable. And I was that person for a long time.
That's what you'll think, you know.
But like, dude, last week I was addicted to the gym. Like, last week I was like, man, Tuesday, Thursday coming around, I can't wait to hit the gym.
Yeah, can we hit the gym tomorrow, by the way?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
12:30.
Tuesday? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, 12:30. Whoa.
Definitely 12:30.
I can't 12:30.
We'll talk about it.
All right, we'll talk about it. Anyways, yeah, I like the gym now.
Yeah.
You never like it at the beginning, guys. But
you and that goes for a lot of things, you know what I mean? Is you're going to deal, I love what Hal Elrod says in The Miracle Morning, you know, there's 3 phases to any new habit. You know, you go through the first phase, which is the unbearable phase, where it's like, this is the first 10 days and you're just, I cannot even bear this. I can't handle this. This is horrible, right? But once you get through those first 10 days, you get to the second phase when you're in the next 10 days, which is the uncomfortable phase. So, you know, it's bearable, you can handle it, but you still don't like it yet. And finally, once you pass those 20 days, you get the third phase, which is the unstoppable phase. And that's when this habit becomes just second nature to you. It's just who you are. It's just like you wake up and you're thinking this, right? That's how I am with journaling right now, and with incantations and yoga and exercise and playing guitar, you know what I mean? Because I do it every day, and I switch it up slightly every day too, so that it stays interesting for me. And it's just an automatic habit. I remember when I used to have to force myself to write my journal, but now it's like I catch myself doing it without even wanting to, or not wanting to, you know what I mean? Without even like putting in work to set the intention. It just happens. And so step 3, guys, just change everything. Look at what's working and go all in on that, and your strengths and your weaknesses when it comes to that. Just stop.
Yeah, I've noticed that when it comes to bad habits, like things that aren't serving you, they suck you in a little bit. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to fatty foods, man, like they are the most delicious foods on the planet, but they're awful for you and they make you feel poopy. You know what I'm saying? So I just said poopy on our podcast. How do you feel about that? No, but and then there's things like Facebook posts, you know, where a girl's sitting there with a bucket of puppies throwing it in a river. Like, that was an actual thing. It was ridiculous. But there's people just sharing this. Like, I hate this person. I'm just gonna share it. And it's like, dude, you're sharing hateful images. Yeah. You're sharing images that are gonna make people like probably tear up. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing that? You should be sharing a loving video, because look, there's so many awful things going on the planet, but to focus on that and to share that isn't serving anybody. To sit around and be sad about it isn't serving anybody. But it sucks you in because you're like, I just want to share it and make sure that people know what this person is doing. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's automatic for all of us. But what we should be doing is sharing the loving information and focusing on the loving information. And same with like all the healthy foods and the working out. It's not nice at first, but you get the benefits, and then it's lovely.
The most interesting thing to me about change is nobody wants to change until their life's falling apart. Like, nobody wants to even change the slightest small thing until they feel like there's no other option, like all other options. And so that's why I love to talk about how when people make breakdowns, they make breakthroughs. And
that's basically what you're trying to do in step 1, wasn't it? Like, create a breakdown. Like, you have to create a moment where you're just intense. And a lot of our podcasts, that's exactly what it is we want to make sure we warn you of the repercussions, the consequences of, your negative actions, and the positive things you could experience by changing. That's all it is. That's like, smoking cigarettes is bad. Eating unhealthy food is bad and it's killing you. And not following your dreams and being miserable and all these things, it's killing you and it's tearing your life apart. What we're just trying to do is give you the tools and direct you in a way that you could actually just make the change, man. Because oftentimes change isn't just like that for somebody who's not practiced that change. Yeah. Right? And what's crazy is they did studies about like the deaths of smoking and like how many people die and a certain amount of cigarettes or whatever, and they said it's the equivalent of if like the same amount of people would die smoking if smoking did nothing to your lungs. It did nothing to you, like it was just fine, but 1 in every like 10,000, 20,000 or so had a stick of dynamite in it, and when you smoked it, it blew up and killed you. And if that exists, nobody would smoke. You know what I mean? Because like they look at one cigarette like it's nothing. They use a softener.
Yeah. It's just one cigarette.
It's one cigarette, man.
It's just one piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
It's just one coffee.
But if this one cigarette could literally blow your brains, you would quit. And that's something to think about if you guys are smokers. If anybody listening is a smoker, think about that.
Like, if you just want to make any change, if it's smoking, if it's eating, if it's your career, just put yourself through some pain. Like, seriously, like go 10 minutes of like just pain.
You gotta be brutally honest, like you were with mom. Like, Mom, you're disgusting.
Yeah, like, I almost feel bad about that, but I told my mom in her face, I was like, Mom, you are gross. You're despicable. You're disgusting. Because I was talking about her smoking cigarettes. I was like, you're so much better than that. Like, you're such a beautiful person from the inside, and like it's getting clouded by like this bad habit of yours. You know what I mean? And yeah, like I could see it in her eyes. She's like, wow, like, ouch, you know, because that's how you have an effect on people. You know?
I mean, it hurts,
and it hurts coming from me. Obviously, I think it's more effective when you're the one telling yourself this, right? Because I could tell you all day, you're gross, you need to change, you know what I mean? Your life's miserable, blah, blah. I could tell you all day, and it don't matter. Like, what I say does not matter. Don't listen to me. You need to listen to yourself. Like, put yourself through your pain. Ask yourself what's most important in your life. We're just trying to prompt the change in you, just light the spark, but at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to change your life, right? Like, I could say Tony Robbins changed my life. I could say Think and Grow Rich changed my life. I could say my brother Cameron here changed my life. But the truth is, I changed my life. You know what I mean? I was the one who made that final decision, because the power to make that decision is in my hands. I can't make that decision for you. I could give you tips and stuff that's helped me, and ideas that I learned, and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you're the one with the power to change. You're the one with that ability, and accept that. You know what I mean? As an example, when I was a teenager, I always felt like, you know, we're going to be in this awesome rock band, and then someday some big record label is going to stop by and we're going to sign a contract.
That's everyone's dream. Every musician's dream.
Everything's going to be okay. They're going to solve all our problems. All we have to do is just play music and have a good time. We just sign this contract, man. That's all we got to do. Just sign this contract. When the truth is, it's like, you need to take responsibility for your career. Take responsibility for your happiness. Take responsibility for your health. And as soon as you do, as soon as you say, this is my health, this is my career, this is my business, this is my, you know, life, and then you could lead it, right?
I think we're gonna wrap it up on that. We're gonna
wrap it up, dude. We got a lot in this episode.
We absolutely did.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching this show, one last thing I want you guys to know is we just came out with an ebook called Motivation Mastery. And it's just a short little like 30-40 page book all about motivation. It's basically just got like the most amazing things we know about motivation in that book. So that one's available now for free on Amazon, and it's only going to be free for like 1 week. So like, get it now, because I want you guys to get the free copy, and then leave an honest review if you can. You know, like, make it sound terrible if it's terrible, or make it sound good if it sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we plan on doing a lot more stuff like that, just like short little ebooks and yeah, there's just lots in the works, guys. I'm really excited. We got a speaking event coming up with Anthony Cheam. We talked about this in our last episode, the Fun Theory, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Cam will be speaking live for an audience of about 100 people or so.
I'm gonna pee my pants. It's gonna be awesome.
Like, this is the longest outro ever.
Well, dude, the school presentations got me peeing my pants. So I mean, 100 people, let's do it.
Yeah.
Up the ante. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
Yes.
We both appreciate it.
No, we love this show. We have so much fun here. You know what I mean? Like, and you guys coming on and putting in your comments and you know, engaging with us makes it a million times better too. So, thanks for everything, guys.
Yes.
Are we wrapping this up?
Yeah.
Got the music jamming already?
Well, we already jammed the music. Let's do another one.
Okay.
Repeat.
We're jamming the music again, guys.
So we're gonna wrap it up. Leave a review on iTunes, and also, wait, what else can they do? They can review us on iTunes. They can subscribe on our YouTube.
Go download the new free book.
They can go download Motivation Mastery.
Like us on Facebook.
You can like Implicit. Dude, we have so many like Facebook pages. It's ridiculous. Too many. But there's a lot to see in the Implicit name. So
go like our 10 business pages on Facebook.
It's ridiculous. All right, thank you guys.
Love you guys.
Peace.